Hey guys, going here today. I'm gonna show you guys my party for defeating honor mode. Very, very good party. Honestly, this is probably the best, or it's definitely one of the best parties I've ever used. Maybe the best that I've ever used to beat honor mode. And yeah, I'm just gonna show you guys exactly what to do here. So for the race, for your attack character, it doesn't matter. I picked a Zerial Tiefling because Tieflings are my favorite. But if you want to go maximum damage, I recommend half orc for sure. Is definitely the best for this build. But uh, like I said, just play whatever you want. You can also play a wood half elf or wood elf for mobility. You want to take so for the start, you want to take 5 levels of Paladin, 2 levels of Bard, or just 7 levels of Paladin. Then at level 8, you will respec to what I'm showing you right here, which is going to be 2 levels of Paladin, 10 levels of Bard. Oath doesn't matter. I'm going with Oath of Vengeance, and for the ability score, we have all of this stuff. You want to dump Strength because you're going to be using Strength elixirs throughout your run, and then yeah, Athletics, Persuasion's fine. All right. You may have to respec your character multiple times because early on you'll be using the dueling fighting style. Then you will switch to the like early on you're gonna use the dueling fighting style, but then later on you're going to use great weapon, 2 weapon fighting. So yeah, grab defense here regardless because you can get dueling from dueling or 2 weapon fighting from your bard levels anyways. And now that you hit level 2 of paladin, you have your smites, and you're just gonna invest the rest into bard levels here. For cantrips, it doesn't really matter. Like, I usually just grab these two. Um, and then early on, the sky self is quite good, especially for turning into Gift Yankee for the because there is a trick to get the Silver Sword of Astral Planes very early in the game. Go look that up. It's I think there's a video from Toy House about that. And then for these abilities, it doesn't really matter what to grab here, like it's just whatever. But for combat, maybe acrobatics might come in clutch. Level 2 of Bard, you just get like a spell. You can grab like Thunder Wave to like hit people off, I guess, of, into cliffs and just kill them. Level 3 of Bard, you're gonna want to take College of Swords. I'm gonna dueling fighting style. You will grab until you get Orin's daggers. Then you'll switch to 2 weapon fighting. So since I have Orin's daggers, I'm gonna grab 2 weapon fighting. But early on, you do want dueling for Nirona and the duelist prerogative early into Act 3. And then for spells, it doesn't really matter. I'll grab Hold Person, I guess. But the spells are like whatever. You can grab whatever you want. Feet, make sure you grab Savage Attacker here. Very, very strong. Rerolls, it basically gives you advantage on your damage rolls. For example, for your hit roll, for your damage rolls and your Divine Smite damage rolls, it gives you advantage, which is pretty good. For your spell, it doesn't really matter. Enhance ability is quite nice. Could come in clutch. And then cantrip doesn't really matter. I'll grab Blade Ward. Friends is also actually good. Actually, I'll grab Friends, I guess. Bar level 5, you get your flourishes back from short resting now, and Glyph of Warding could be good for damage. Hypnotic Pattern is also decent. You can grab that later, or you could replace spell. Grab it right there, actually. And then finally, bar level 6, you do get extra attack, and I'll grab Hypnotic Pattern here. Alright, level 9, we have our 7th level of Bard, and we do have level 4 spell slot now, which is quite good for our smites. I'm going to grab Greater Invis here for a trick with our Gloomstalker Assassin. And level 8 of Bard, now you have another level 4 spell slot and a level 5 spell slot, quite nice. Ability improvement here, just increase your dexterity by 2. And for this spell, it doesn't really matter. Just grab Invisibility. Yes. Level 9. Doesn't matter again, you can just grab Hold Monster. But just look at all the spell slots you're getting throughout your Bard levels. And then here, this is where the spells do matter. Level 10 of Bard. For Magical Secrets, you're going to want to grab where is Counterspell? Counterspell and Spirit Guardians. These are both extremely great. This is for utility wise. Counterspell is amazing, and Spirit Guardians will come in just come in clutch in terms of damage before you enter a battle. For the spell, it doesn't really matter. Dimension Door can come in clutch, I guess. Cantrip, Blade Ward, I guess. And then for our skill, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna grab athletics, I guess, for throwing people off of cliffs. And then abilities here, yeah, I don't know. Like, there we go. More acrobatics, I guess. And that is it for the Bardadin tab character. Now let's go to our other character. So next character I'll cover is the monk. I have Karlach here as the monk because of her soul coin buff. Is very, very strong. You get basically 2d4. 2d4 boost. Which is very fucking strong. it's glitched. It's supposed to be 1d4 fire, but I'm pretty sure it gives you 2d4 fire after soul coin use. Yeah, so here's your stat distribution. You want 15 cons, so you can up it to 16 with Tavern Brawler, and then 17 wisdom. You can add 1 to it with Khalid's gift, which you get at 3. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Level 2. Any second out. Okay, so level 2 here, you get your key points and your additional movements. Unarmored movement, which is very good. Unarmored movement is what lets you just run around the whole place, which is quite great. Way of the open hand here is what you'll grab at level 3. And level 4 here, we get another key point. It's slow fall, and you get one of the most broken feats in the game, maybe the most broken feat in the game, Tavern Brawler. Increase your strength to 16. You don't care about the 8 strength because you're going to use strength elixirs on this character as well. Level 5, you get stunning strike and extra attack. Very, very big power spike. And then here at level 6, you get these subclass featured passives. Emancipation of Soul is quite good throughout the most of Act 2 because of all the shadows being weak to radiant damage and stuff. However, when you get the Resonance Stone in the right before the final battle of Act 2, people will become weak to psychic damage. So that makes Manifestation of Mind usually the better choice in most scenarios afterwards. And then yeah, you get all these cool things as well. Alright, level 7, you're going to multi-class into Rogue here, and essentially what you want from this is you want to have at least 3 levels of Rogue to get the extra bonus action. There you get the cunning actions, and this is the big thing. Here you get the subclass Thief. Now you get an extra bonus action, and you can use 2 flurries in 1 turn. That is the big power spike here. For this variation, I'm going to opt for a 4th level of Rogue for the feats to increase Wisdom by 2. This makes your damage much stronger. With these boots right here, that adds your Wisdom modifier to your unarmed strikes. And now for our last 2 levels, we're going to dip into Fighter for Action Surge. For first level, I guess Archery is probably the best, but it doesn't really matter. If you're using the Helldusk armor, you can use Defense. But yeah, none of these really matter that much. I'll just grab Archery. And then level 2 here, you get Action Surge. Level 2 of Fighting, you get Action Surge, and that is the build. Alright. And yeah, let's go to Astarion next and cover over the Gloomstalker Assassin build that I have for him. Can I please switch to Astarion? Thank you. Okay. And I'm going the wrong way.
Really?
Alright. Withers, my boy.
Fate dost thou require as thou desire.
Alright. Now for Astarion here, we're going to pick Ranger Knight for heavy armor proficiency, and fire resistance is probably the most common one. For our cantrip, it doesn't really matter. Minor Illusion is good, Firebolt's good, just grab whatever you want. And here is the stat distribution. I have 16 Wisdom because I'm using the Diadem of Arcane Synergy to increase my damage as much as possible. And I did spend a Hag's Hair on Astarion, that's why you see 17 Dexterity there, so I can increase it to 18. For fighting style, we're obviously going to grab archery, and for the spells, long strider and hand sleep are just very nice. Level 3, you get the Gloomstalker subclass, one of the most broken subclasses in the game, and I like to use Fog Cloud here, but Hunter's Mark is also decent. Here at level 4, you will grab your Sharpshooter feat, and this is a very nice power spike for your character. Level 5, you now get extra attack. For the Raphael exploit, silence is nice. However, since I've already gone past that part of the game, I'm going to grab Passive Out the Trace. The combination of this plus Greater Invis is very broken. Next, at level 6, we're going to multiclass into Rogue once again. Get your Rogue level 2, you get your Cunning actions. And level 3, here you get the Assassin subclass. This is going to be very big. This guarantees you get advantage on on guys who haven't attacked yet. You crit people who are surprised, and you get your actions back after starting battle. So you always want to start battle with your Gloomstalker Assassin. For our second feat here, ability improvement, get your dexterity up. This is 20 because of the +1 from the Hag's Hair. And then here at level 10, we're going to grab our fighter levels. So yeah, defense fighting style. And then at fighter level 2 here, we get action surge. Finally, at level 12, we're going to multiclass into Cleric and take the War Domain so we can weaponize our bonus action as an extra attack. These cantrips are probably ideal, I guess, and yeah, I don't really care. Spells don't really matter. Create Water might be good. For Water Sparker shit, Command could be good. And yeah, that is it for our Gloomstalker Assassin. Finally, let's go to Shadowheart.
Got to keep moving.
And let's respec her. So this is going to be our Fire Sorlock.
Fate dost thou require, and as thou desire.
So for level 1 here, you want to grab these cantrips. Minor Illusion's also good, but you already got that. You want to grab Dragon Ancestry. Any fire one is good. Gold is quite good as well because it gives you Disguise Self. And then for spells, Magic Missile, Shield are definitely the strongest at level 1. And then here's our ability score. You can opt to run 16 Constitution instead for better concentration stuff. But we are running the Armor of Landfall, which I'll talk about later, which kind of mitigates this problem. You can also use Elixir of Vigilance as well to increase your initiative better. So maybe this is probably more optimal with Elixir of Vigilance. So yeah, I guess we could go with this one. But for now, I'm just going to go with 16 Dexterity. Right. Okay, level 2 of Sorcerer. We want to grab Extended and Twin Spell. And for our spell here, it doesn't really matter that much right now. Maybe Enhanced Sleep, maybe Featherfall for mobility stuff. I'm just grabbing Enhanced Sleep, I guess. But you will be replacing that spell very soon. Here at level 3, we want Quicken Spell. This allows you to, you spend your bonus action on a spell. And right now, your build is more of a Magic Missile plus Polar Loop / Lightning Sparker, Dispel Sparkler build. So Scorching Ray isn't too great. I'll just grab Hold Person then. I guess I can also replace Enhanced Leap for Misty Step. Now that we've leveled up, we're going to grab the Dual Wielder feat to dual wield the Flower Loop and the Spell Sparkler, and Enhance ability is quite good. We can grab Friends as well here. The cantrips don't really matter. Alright, level 5. Fireball can be quite good later on. So let's grab that. Level 6 here, we finally have our damage boost from the Draconic Bloodline. There we go, Elemental Affinity damage. So now Scorching Ray is very, very good. And you can also replace one of the more lackluster spells like Magic Missile with something like Counter Spell. Okay, level 7, we do want to multi-class into... Now that we have our Elemental Affinity damage, we're going to grab one level of Warlock here. Because we get Command. Command is going to be very good throughout your playthrough. It is a very strong control spell, and you can make it... Okay, how do I explain this? It's very strong because it's not a concentration spell, so you can control people without needing to concentrate, meaning that you can just command people for ridiculous amounts of advantage on your Scorching Rays and just do fucking thousands of damage with Scorching Ray. For cantrips, doesn't really matter. Fiend is probably the most convenient one just for Dark One's Blessing, but Dark One's Blessing isn't really that great anyways. And then you're going to dump the rest into more Sorcerer levels here. For the spell here, it doesn't really matter what you grab here. Greater Invis might come in. Oh, Haste is actually quite good. Grab Haste, yeah. Level 8 here. Spells doesn't really matter too much. I'll grab Greater Invis. And for the feat, you want to grab Elemental Adept Fire because there's a lot of guys who resist fire in this game. Level 9 of Sorcerer here, you want to grab Hold Monster. Very, very strong. Alright, next, cantrip once again does not matter. For our spell, it's very trivial. There's not really much that's good here. Dimension Door can come in clutch maybe, and you want to grab Heightened Spell here for your control spells like Hold Monster or Hold Person onto a boss. Level 11 finally. Global Vulnerability can come in clutch. Let's grab that. And yeah, let's get to the gear now.
Alright.
So,
What now?
oh yeah, pro tip of Karlach. Okay, I should probably mention these. Make sure with your monk you have these passives in your bar over here. And I'll turn the psychic one on because it's very good with the resonance. Oh, sorry, it's very good with the resonance stone. And I'll grab sharpshooter here. All right, let's go to the gear now.
How many die tomorrow?
So, for the gear here, we have Ceravoc's Horned Helmet. This can be the Haste Helm. This can be the Grimskull Helmet. Very early on in the game, I think I was using the Grimskull Helmet on this character up until like up until I got the Ceravok helmet. I was just using that one. But the Dark Justiciar helmet that you get at Act 2 is also good. Because I had the Haste Helm on my monk. So yeah. So until you get Ceravoc's Horned Helmet, you can use the Haste Helm, you can use the Grimskull Helmet, and you can use the Dark Justiciar helmet. Cloak Displacement is quite good. You can run the Flesh Melter Cloak or the Cloak of Protection up until then. Ballast Armor. You can just run your standard generic heavy armor until you get the Ballast Armor, but once you start Act 3, I would recommend speedrunning the Ballast Armor as quick as possible. Helldust Gloves are better because of the gloves as long as you precast the gloves of Automaton before a battle. However, if you are not going to do that, then I think Legacy of the Masters is the better slot of gloves. But for now, I'm going to use the Helldust Gloves for just higher damage because I'm usually just starting every battle with the gloves of the Automaton. Evasive shoes are quite good. There's not really many good shoes in Act 1 for me to mention them, to be honest. I guess Nir's Nightwalkers can come up. For the amulet, you actually want the Amulet of Greater Health. But for boss battles, the Surgeon's Amulet can come in clutch. Up until then, the Misty Step Amulet can come in clutch. Killer Sweetheart is quite good, and so is the Strange Conduit Ring. You can concentrate on Spirit Guardians, which a lot, and then combine with the Strange Conduit Ring, you're doing a lot of damage. You can even use the Resonant Stone. Instead of on your monk, you could put it onto this character for even more damage from the Strange Conduit Ring. For your weapon, you want to. So obviously you're gonna get the Everburn Blade from the Nautiloid, but after that, you can grab the Astral Silver Sword from the from just the exploit where you turn a bear invisible and use honey paws on boss when you meet him at the Githyanki patrol site. If you fail that though, you can just use the Everburn Blade or the Sword of Justice from the Paladin tier up until you get the Skin Burster and the I forgot what it's called, the Halberd of Vigilance or whatever it's called from Lantarv in Act 2 can be good. Then in Act 3, you'll be using Nyrona as soon as you get the Ballast Armor. Obviously, you can disguise Self as a Githyanki while you're using the Astral Silver Sword for the 1d6 psychic damage. And after you grab Nyrona, you want to speedrun the Ethel's quest to grab the Duelist Prerogative. And then after you kill Orin, you're going to use your daggers. Crypts Mischief specifically in the main hand because of the additional 7 piercing damage when you have advantage on a target, which is granted to you from the Gloves of Automaton buff that you will be casting before battles. If you want to put the Ballast Armor on someone else, I would recommend switching Bloodthirst into your main hand so that way you get the effect where is it? Okay, well there's an effect with Bloodthirst where if it's in your main hand, it grants piercing weakness. There you go, piercing vulnerability onto enemies that you hit. And then you can use the Armor of Persistence instead as your main armor. So yeah, that's the more tanky build, and I have the Deadshot here for higher crit chances. This is probably the strongest build in the game. By the time you have it all unlocked in Act 3, I don't really think there's much that can contest really with the Ballast Armor Bardadin in Act 3. Like, this build is just, you just run up, stab people, and Slashing Flourish allows you to hit multiple targets. You just one-shot almost everything. So yeah, this build is just really fucking fun. It's really good. I would not recommend it enough. I'm going to be posting a lot of videos where I'm going to be just beating bosses in one turn with this build. For the Open Head Monk, this is probably the best build in the whole fucking game if the Ballast Armor did not exist. Throughout the whole game, it's just so strong. It has so many power spikes, and it's just amazing. I think you just use the Haste Helm until you get the Horns of Berserker in Act 3, and it's very good. It allows your monk to just travel very far distances without actually needing to dash or anything, so you can just use all your attacks just like that instantly. Cloak of Protection is quite good. Monks are quite squishy because they don't use armor. Vest of Soul Rejuvenation is probably your best in slot clothing, but up until this point, you can just use the Graceful Cloth that you get from Lady Esther in Act 1.5 or right before the Gift Crash. The Sparkle Hands is what I like to use, or the Gloves of Cinder and Sizzle up until early Act 3. When you unlock Dantalon, you get the Snow-Dusted Monastery Gloves. These are a little bit better than the Gloves of Cinder and Sizzle because cold damage is just much less resisted than fire. And then you get these gloves from Saving Hope, and they just do insane amounts of damage. You get the Boots of Unlimited Shigo by killing the Honor Guard right before Orpheus. This makes your damage output very insane, adding your Wisdom modifier to all your unarmed attacks. You can get Khalid's Gift from Jahir's Basement, and it increases your Wisdom by 1. You can also just randomly slap the Sentient Amulet on at random times to get your key points back. And then I have the Ring of Protection here for less squishiness, and Ring of Free Action here so you don't get paralyzed or hold person and such. You can run the Ring of Flinging instead because a very good method of ranged artillery for your monk is just throwing smoke powder bombs. This is quite good against Merkel as well, so yeah. Hellrider Longbow, you can use the Bow of Awareness up until you unlock the Hellrider Longbow. But yeah, random bows that are like have decent secondary effects are usually just what you want to run on your monk. And now for your Fire Sorlock, it's basically the same thing. You want I think I was using like hand crossbows or something, even though they weren't proficient. I wasn't proficient with them. So use the Darkfire shortbow that grants you haste, a free cast of haste. You could twin cast that, or you can go the monstrosities shortbow, whatever it's called, the one that you get from Damon, that gives you advantage on monstrosities. That could be like decent very early on in the game. For your helmet, you don't really care in Act 1 what helmet you have, but the Hat of Fire acuity is very good because it gives you your arcane acuity stacks to more easily hold person or hold monster people. Just better for your command spells after you hit them with a Fireball or Scorching Ray. Cloak of the Weave, there isn't really any good cloaks. I guess there's the actually no, sorry, there is the Thunderskin cloak that I don't have anymore, but there's the Thunderskin one that pairs well with Reverberation that you can use up until you get the Cloak of the Weave. Armor of Landfall gives you advantage on Constitution saving throws, meaning when you hold person or hold monster someone, it is very rare that you will not be able to lose concentration on them after getting hit. However, I will say a lot of battles end before my enemies even get an attack off, so I was thinking maybe it's better to just run an Ice Sorcerer with the Pwn Robe instead of the Armor of Landfall Fire Warlock. So yeah, that's why at the beginning of the video I said this might be the strongest party I've ever used, because the Ice Sorcerer might be a better addition to this party than the Fire Warlock. However, command is very fucking strong, so who knows. Spawn my gloves for extra damage. You can use what was it? What was I using in the previous parts? I'm trying to remember. Sorry. Spell my bracers of defense. Yeah, because since you're not using armor, the bracers of defense makes your sword lock a little bit less squishy. So yeah, bracer of defense quite good. You get that in the basement of that building right beside the Blighted Village waypoint. With Stormy Clamor, you get these from Omelium. They're just gonna be what you're gonna use throughout the whole fucking game. And Sentinel Shield, the Shield of Devotion is quite good. Because why do I keep saying Sentinel? The Shield of Devotion is quite good. You can use it as an exploit to create infinite sorcery points. If you don't know about the exploit, just look it up. It's very simple, really. You turn all your level 1 spell slots into sorcery points, then you put this on, and it gives you a free level 1 spell slot that you can turn to a sorcery point, and then you can unequip it, equip it back on, and just keep looping that. For your melee weapons, Valar, when you're running the Magic Missile version for the first 5 levels, Valar Louv plus the Lightning Sparkler, or Spell Sparkler, whatever it's called, this right here, Spell Sparkler, is very good. And then when you hit level 6 and get the Elemental Affinity damage thing, Mel's First Staff is better than the Valar Louv. And then you will be using that combo up until Act 3 when you get access to Marco Heshkir and Rhapsody. Spine Shudder Amulet, you get this from the Isabel's Mimic chest, I think, in Act 2, and Ring of Mental Inhibition, I think, comes from a chest right beside Oliver in the Shadow Curse lands. Callous Glow Ring, you also get this from, I think it's from Balthazar's, the closet near Balthazar's room in the Grand Mausoleum. And then I have the Bow of Awareness just for extra initiative. There's not really much better that you can get. You're not proficient with the Hellrider Longbow, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so it's better to just use the short Bow of Awareness. Next, for our Gloomstalker Ranger, the Diadem of Arcane Synergy is basically what you're going to use throughout the whole game. It's just extra damage. However, the Mask of Soul Perception that gives you extra, that makes your attacks more accurate, is also very good, so you can run that as well. Deathstalker Mantle makes this build extremely broken. I'm running the Armor of Agility because I have the Ballast Armor on my Bardadin here. Crater Flesh Gloves, these are damage writing sources that stack with the Dolor Amaris daggers, which makes this fucking broken. And the Helldust boots are very nice as well, probably some of the best boots in the game. I do have the Amulet of Branding right now, but that's just for specific fights. I think the better overall amulet is probably the Broodmother's Revenge. It's just extra damage that you can throw a potion onto the ground and then go onto the potion and get the extra d6 of poison damage. Risky Ring, for this variation, Risky Ring is better for Titan String because it does more single target damage. However, Gaunter Mile doesn't require an elixir, so you can use the Elixir of Bloodlust instead of the Cloud Giant Strength Elixir, and you have better multi-target damage because you can shoot more arrows. So yeah, Gaunter Mile plus Bloodlust Elixir is also a very good combination. And then because of that, you can use the Risky Ring on, say, like your Bardadin instead. And then, it's. I'm gonna be real. It's better single target damage with the Titan String Bow, which is like a lot of fights. If you kill just the main boss, like the Answer, like Gortash, it's the battle is over. So I think I'm going to prioritize a single target damage version with the Titan String Bow over the Gaunter Mile version, but both are very, very strong. And you can easily beat Honor Mode with either variant. And Caustic Band is just a little bit extra damage. Up until in Act 1, you can use what's the heavy armor? The Adamantine Splint armor. You can also use the Adamantine Splint armor on your Bardadin. And then in Act 2, for the Bardadin, you get the Dwarven Splint Mail. For gloves, I should have said this earlier. You can use the Gloves of Dexterity from Jake Nira, but also the Gloves of the Howling Underdog, or whatever the fuck it's called, from Jorbaxon's Vault is also really good. Okay, back to Astarion. So in terms of armor, you can use that, and then you get the Graceful Cloth. You can use that, but it might conflict with your monk. So that's why the Yuan-Ti Scale Mail at the early parts of Act 2 is also really great, and it's better than the Graceful Cloth. But the Yuan-Ti Scale Mail, you're going to use that up until Act 3 until you get the Armor of Agility. Crater Flesh Gloves, you will use the Gloves of Archery up until you get the Crater Flesh Gloves. So keep that in mind. Oh, sorry, for the gloves, you only use Flight Helldust gloves in Act 2 from Damon. Sorry, I'm going straight off memory here. The Flight Helldust gloves are, the best in slot gloves for your Bardadin in Act 2. Anyways, back to Astarion, finally. And then for boots, it doesn't really matter what boots you give them. Like, Boots of Speed, you can give to either of these characters. I guess Boots of Speed should be on your Bardadin because you already have the levels of Rogue on Astarion. You could use the Water Sparkers and just like throw water bottles down and get your lightning charges. There's not really many good boots you can get, to be honest. For your rings, Caustic Bend, you'll have it very early on, and the other ring doesn't really matter. I think I was using the Smuggler's Ring just for the extra stealth, and then the Broodmother's Revenge, you get that very early on as well, same with the Titan String Bow. And then for the daggers, you can use Club of Hill Giant Strength to open up your elixir spot, and the Knife of the Undermountain King or the Sentinel Shield are both also very good. So yeah, those are all the gear pieces that I could come up with, and I'll show like quickly how you want to do battles with the Fire Sorcerer-Warlock, because it's probably one of the more interesting variants of the build. So essentially, what you want to do is you want to command Grovel. Oh, well, that's awkward. But what you want to do is you want to command Grovel someone. Hold on, maybe I could do this to Mazora. Command Grovel, and yeah, it has pretty good hit rate. If you go extended, and you can upcast this to select multiple targets, as you can see, and you can use extended to make your hit rate even better. Oh, sorry, no. It doesn't make the hit rate better, sorry. But extended makes their... What am I even saying, dude? Extended makes it so they grovel for multiple turns, meaning you can potentially skip their turns for quite a while, so that way for longer battles you just have permanent advantage on all your attacks. And then this allows you to Scorching Ray for a ton of damage after you cast your Marco Heshkir buff, Flame of Wrath. So at the start of the day you want to cast this, then you will command people to grovel, and you will do insane amounts of damage with Scorching Ray. So yeah, that is essentially how the battle goes. I don't want to kill anyone in the camp, so I'm just not going to do it, but you get the gist of it. That is essentially how you do it. You can hold monster or hold person people as well. And with the Power Pine spell, you can make your hit rate 99, but that's like on a kid. But say for hold monster, 65 is not bad, especially since you can upcast it to be use multiple times and guarantee it. And yeah, that is essentially how you do battle with the Fire Sorlock. Yeah, and then everyone else is pretty self-explanatory. There's not really much to go over. For your Gloomstalker Assassin, obviously you want to set up surprises by starting combat and ambushing them. And quick tip actually is Shakeling armor if you're obscured. Like let me just turn off these candles real quick.
Stepping softly.
There, if you are obscured, we're only half obscured, but let me see if it still works. You get the Clinging Shadows buff, which gives you advantage on saving throws, which cancels out the downside of the Risky Ring. So yeah, you can do that. Start every day to cancel out the downside of the Risky Ring, and yeah, now you just have permanent advantage on all your attacks.
At least things have stayed interesting.
And when you're using the Duelist Prerogative, you can also put the Sentinel Shield on before a battle for the extra initiative, and then take it off, because taking unequipping stuff is a free action. So yeah, right before a battle starts, you can cast not Divine Favor, Inquisitor's Might. You can cast Bless. You can also cast Spirit Guardians on yourself. This is a great way to use your concentration. So that way you get just extra more free damage, and the concentration will turn on your Strange Conduit Ring. So yeah, those are just some quick ways you can use all the, use all these builds. And yeah, with this you should be able to beat Honor Mode pretty easily, as long as you know what you're doing. Yeah, that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is Skarn signing out. Peace.